start talking? Oh.
Refocus.
Who came up with the idea to transform the WAC to Streamlab?
Actually, I did pass the WAC, and I looked in there. I was like, God, this place is so underused. I was like, what could we do with it to make it beneficial? And then I remembered that design of that space in the other school, and I was like, this is it. This is the space. So I walked around with Mr. Rich Redzwicki, and I was like, Rich, what do you think? What do you think, like, of my idea, this little vision that the Holy Spirit gave me? And he was like, that'd be awesome if you could make it happen. And that was it. And it's since then transformed.
How much will this transformation cost?
Okay, ready? This is going to hurt everyone's feelings. All right. It is going to cost approximately $1 million. All of this comes from capital campaign money.
What are some ideas or changes that will happen to the WAC that we should look forward to?
So I guess to me, the three very distinct spaces in that space focus on the STEM design model. And as we incorporate STREAM, we were very mindful of incorporating religion and the arts within that model as well. So some of the facilities will look like, obviously we still need to have an educational space, but education for your century, not those old desks that are still built in. You know, they'll have mobile seating, mobile tables, mobile seats, comfy seating, etc. In the instructional space. And around the instructional space, we'll have a lot of the technologies that we need for STEM. So even though you guys all have iPads now, iPads aren't really designed for heavy design work. They're designed for apps. So the computers that are in that space are designed for heavy, you know, architectural design, SketchUps, et cetera, et cetera. And the computer spaces are designed to be collaborative. So if Josh and you are working on a project, or you and I are working on a project, we can sit collaboratively together and work on the same computer. And then the other space is called a maker space. And if you Google maker space, it's really just a space that allows kids to create, allows students to just create, allows you to get messy, it's able to be cleaned up easily, you're able to use hand tools, you're able to use scissors, razors, things of that nature to create, physically create prototypes, etc. And then the prototyping space actually allows you to make a finished prototype. They'll have 3D printers there, we'll have commercial grade equipment, you know, cutters, saws, et cetera, that can really allow students to create a final product.
When will this construction start and when will it be completed?
So the goal is for the completion to be, the construction will begin, I believe, January. That sounds right, January 2019. And the completion of this should be next fall. So we're hoping to start the school year opening it. At the very latest, it will be open during the fall of 2019. That's 2019, right? Yeah. So January construction until the opening of the school year, hopefully.
Do you think this will help students' learning environments?
Absolutely. I think that, like, in so many ways, God bless Bishop Noel, but we're a little, like, behind. And not just Bishop Noel, really schools in general. When you look at the evolution of anything over a century, things have evolved, and education for some reason hasn't taken the same strides. So when you look at the space like the Media Center that we've already updated, kids like that space. Unfortunately, it's not open to you like it's supposed to be yet, but you guys like that space. It's created for you and with your needs in mind, and this space is going to be very much so. On our STREAM committee, we even had some freshman students on it because they were part of the STEM course through Project Lead the Way, and they kind of got it. So we were very intentional about making sure that it serves what you guys need and meet you where you're at, so you're more comfortable in the classroom setting, as opposed to, you know, the rigid old school desks that we're so very used to in Catholic education. But we're expanding that to really meet where you guys are at, you know, giving you comfortable seating, giving you mobile seating. Obviously, instruction still has to take place. You're not going to be able to, you know, like, just learn everything through an iPad, but giving you those tools to make you more successful is the whole point of that space.
And even though this will benefit students, how will this benefit teachers?
I look at it as, from a teacher perspective, when you are, I used to be a health teacher, so this space, you know, people would say, well, how would you use it in health? I guess I just look at it as an opportunity to use the space to maybe do some more hands-on models. So maybe I would take the students in and say, all right, today we're going to create a heart, and we're going to actually create the chambers, and we're going to discuss what each of these chambers are. So you got chamber 1, you got chamber 2, you got chamber 3, you got chamber 4, you guys are focusing on the valves, you guys focus on whatever that might be, and we could actually create that. And what better way to learn? You know, when you look at ways that students learn, historically, even though we used to just have you guys memorize, historically, kids learn more by conceptually building, by conceptually understanding it. So what better way to learn the heart than having those conversations? So as a teacher, to me, I look at it as an investment for them in their instruction, and also like, hey, Bishop Knoll's doing stuff to enhance themselves, to make sure that they're here for the next 100 years. So that's important to me as a teacher, because you want to go somewhere that you feel supported. You want to go somewhere that you feel puts value on education, and you want to go somewhere that's going to be here because you want to have job security. So all those things, I think, from a faculty perspective, are enhanced by this space.
Now, even though this is a stream lab for like STEM classes,
Sure.
will it be open to all classes, languages?
Sure. So if you actually looked at the renderings, we were very intentional about creating separate spaces. So even though this is the Stream Innovation Lab, that allows, just like the Media Center or the labs here, people can sign out. You know, I'm like I just said, I'm a health teacher. I want to use the Makerspace Lab. Is it available? Let me go online and sign it out. Okay, so this space is intentionally designed with 4 very separate parts. So if you look at the mezzanine, which is the upstairs level, it's a total separate space from the downstairs. Okay, that doesn't mean that if I'm a teacher, I can't have kids in both those spaces, but it allows me as a school to have potentially 3-4 classes in that space at once. And then looking further into the future, ideally we'll host workshops there. We'll be able to invite kids to maybe participate in robotics, you know, down the line, have after-school programs in which we cater to our visiting schools and our partner schools. So from a visionary perspective, 3 years down the line, I want that space happen all the time. And that was intentional when we designed it. We wanted to make value of all those spaces and make sure that it could be used for a variety of purposes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.